We put our own limitations on ourselves because we look at the success of others and feel like we can't do that.
Welcome to the Light, Life, and Love podcast. Take a closer look at life's journey in a different light and love the lessons that shine through. Now, here's your host, artist and author, Goldie Rose.
When I was about 5 or 6, I told my mom I wanted a typewriter for Christmas. I just wanted to write something, and I thought having a typewriter would make it so official. Didn't know what officially I was thinking about being, but that typewriter was going to make it happen. So I got it. And one day while my mom was making dinner, I sat at the kitchen table and I typed a poem, 4 pages, front and back. Me, a little kid. And I still have that poem. The title of it was, "Where Are You Today?" And when I came across it a couple of years ago and I read it in its entirety, if I didn't know it then when I was holding those 4 pages in my hand a couple of years ago, that it was meant for me to write, I knew it then. I won a few writing contests in my school district when I was younger. I also won a few drawing contests as well, which was my other passion. I was pretty good at both writing and drawing. And at the time, I really didn't know what I could do with it. So I went for a practical approach. I thought about the things I used to enjoy drawing, which most of the time involve houses and decorating and things like that. And I said, hey, maybe I should become an architect. So in high school, I took drafting classes. I was encouraged by my drafting teacher to apply to some pretty high up schools. And upon acceptance, I decided to attend Georgia Tech. So I went, I saw, and it conquered me. Not once, but twice. Twice I flunked out of tech and thus begun my downward spiral. I didn't see how I could become anything that I possibly ever envisioned. And my goal at that time was just to stay in Atlanta and not return home. Needless to say, I've returned home 3 times, and this 3rd time has been a charm. And I did get my 4-year degree, nowhere near related to anything creative. Possibly. I have a minor in marketing. But those dreams still live inside of me. And ever so often, I would still try to give things a shot. I have 2 shelves on my bookcase full of journals and notebooks that I have attempted to write stories, and there they remain. And even through the course of education, before I completed my 4-year degree, I gave the creative side one last shot, and I enrolled in a graphic design program. And as much as I enjoyed what I was learning, going to school online, while pregnant, while working, were horrible ideas. So that didn't come through. But it was still there. All the things I wanted to do were still there. Writing, designing, creating, making something. Never left me. So about 4 years ago, I attended this retreat. And you could select either a journey of purpose or a journey of passion. So I decided to go the purpose route because at that time, I figured I'd get some information and get some motivation to be the best employee in the auto insurance industry that I could be. Because, that's the plan. With having parents that work in the same industry and the same job and the same company for decades, I figured this is what I'm supposed to do. I left that retreat utterly confused, in a good way. What I thought I was going to experience as far as how to advance in my career at the time, it totally blew all of that out the water. And it tapped the shoulder of a sleeping giant that was inside of me. I began to create again. I began to live again. It was all amazing. Fast forward now, and I realized that those dreams that I had as a little girl, that I tried so desperately over the course of my young adulthood and up until now even, they're still alive. You know, I'm actually going to make a list, and I encourage you to do the same thing. How many things have you thought about doing and hadn't pursued it any further than that? How many things have you written down, shared with others, and that was the end of it? Look at those things that are on your list. And then at the end of that list, write this down. What's stopping me from doing this? I assure you, it will all boil down to what you think you can do, what you think others may think of you, the limitations that you may encounter. We put our own limitations on ourselves because we look at the success of others and feel like we can't do that. We dismiss our dreams because when we see others living their dreams, we didn't know what obstacles they had to overcome to make those dreams a reality. Part of me wants to say, don't be like me and sit on your dreams and let them grow so big that they make you uncomfortable. But another part of me wants you to do that because sometimes it takes that discomfort to get you to action. That's what it took for me. The desire to create became so great. I became more miserable because I knew it was there. It's been inside of me since I was 6, 7. And here I am, 30 some odd years later. And if I'm not writing or making or creating something, I am miserable. And I make everyone else miserable around me. I want to leave off with a poem by Langston Hughes, and I think it's fitting for this podcast. What happens to a dream deferred? Does it dry up like a raisin in the sun? Or does it fester like a sore and then run? Does it stink like rotten meat? Or crust and sugar over like a syrupy sweet? Maybe it just sags like a heavy load. Or does it explode? Mr. Hughes, as a person who's let my dreams be deferred, I can tell you they do explode. And they are creating the most amazing fireworks. So thank you for that, sir. And to you, I ask, what happens to your dreams deferred? What's going to happen to your deferred dreams? What are you going to do with your dreams? Are you going to let them dry up? Are you going to let them get sore? Are you going to let them live? Or are you going to let them grow so big they can't stay in its box any longer? Thanks for listening.
You've just tuned in to the Light, Life, and Love podcast. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe. Visit our website at bit.ly/Goldie Rose. And most importantly, don't forget to rate this podcast so you can let others know how much you've enjoyed this journey.